Hello and welcome along to another CrowdProperty.com funding opportunity. Today we're going to Shropshire and we're looking at the land south of Aldersley Way, Ruyton 11 Towns, SY41LA. Now, CrowdProperty is a peer-to-peer lending platform designed to facilitate loans between private individuals and professional property businesses. CrowdProperty is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority under permission number 723959. CrowdProperty is not covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. There are risks with any loans you make, and just like all peer-to-peer lending, your capital is at risk. CrowdProperty endeavours to protect all lenders. This is done by registering the legal first charge against the property project. This means that in the very unlikely event a borrower defaults on the loan, CrowdProperty will be able to take ownership of the project and manage it for the lenders. Now, the borrower on this project is Ruyton Holdings Limited. The company registration number is 1258949, and that incorporated in May 2020. There's one director and shareholder who is Lewis O'Shea, and I'm delighted that Lewis is able to join us here on this webinar. Welcome along. Tell us a little bit about you and your background.
My previous experience was a quantity surveyor. I've worked for both client and contractor sides. And my most previous employment was obviously for Berkeley Homes. They're one of the nation's biggest developers. I've worked for both developments, obviously for clients and obviously in our own name as well. We're now moving on to taking a portfolio of owning our own land and obviously building our own developments. And this will obviously be developed and managed by ourselves.
Now let's then have a look at this project then. It's a development loan facility of £850,000. That's towards the ground up construction of 5 detached dwellings. This is phase 1 of a 3-phase raise, and the loan is for a total term of 50 months, paying lenders 8% per annum equivalent. Interest on this first phase is going to be retained, and lenders will receive interest paid monthly. So let's start off then, please, Lewis. Tell us a little bit more about Ruyton 11 Towns.
It's a small, largish town that's situated just outside of North Shropshire, about 11 miles from northwest Shrewsbury, and it's about 9 miles from southwest Aldersley. It's got a small population, over 1,000 people. It's got good local amenities, local pub. It's got a garage, and obviously it's got quite a prestigious school, St. John's Ruyton. Which is obviously quite prestigious for the local area. So a lot of people obviously try and live within the local area due to the small teaching groups. The local area is predominantly residential, and the site, it was an old paddock land that used to be obviously the main house, and obviously it's got an adjoining period residential property at the front.
Now, planning permission was granted by Shropshire Council to build 5 dwellings. The outline permission was granted in February 2019, and the reference is 19/00560/OUT, and reserve matters granted in January 2020 under the reference 20/00391/REM. Access is going to be from Aldersley Way, with each unit having 2 parking spaces. The development then consists of 5 4-bedroom properties, all very similar. They're going to be 2-storey construction, and we'll have a look at the floor plans in just a few moments. This project is going to be first charge secured, and the exit strategy is to sell the units on the open market on completion of the works. Here's the location plan to show you where Ruyton 11 Towns is situated. So you can see Shrewsbury, and it's just to the northwest of Shrewsbury, between Aldersley and Shrewsbury. On the right hand side, you can see Ruyton 11 Towns in a little bit more detail. So that location then within the heart of this large village. It's a popular location, lots of amenities nearby. Larger nearby villages include Baschurch, and that provides additional amenities, including the Corbett Secondary School. It's a historical town. The ruins of Ruyton Castle stand in the local parish churchyard, with parts of the church dating back to the 1130s. A World War I war memorial carved within sandstone cliffs. It's unique to Shropshire, and that stands beside the road leading out of Ruyton. So let's then have a look at this project, and this is existing photographs of the site and the access in particular going into this paddock. Start off, please, Lewis. Tell us, how did you come across this parcel of land?
We was basically completing a project for a previous client, and we was issued a plot of land by a local estate agent. We've been looking at it for about 2 to 3 months, sort of a bit unsure if to go for it or not, and then obviously we decided to obviously sort of try and secure the land, which we did. Study the local area, and it seemed like a good investment, and obviously that's where we are now.
So here's the site plan then and the street scene. This is what you're going to be building. It's a mix of 5 different properties. Just talk us through the general layout.
So the new access will be coming in from Aldersley Way. It's basically a parcel of land, which obviously there's been a bell mouth already produced. The new access will obviously be from Aldersley Way, and then they'll be coming into the vicinity. There'll be 2 4-bedroom houses, plot type 1 and plot type 2 on the right-hand side. And obviously, as you enter the new development, you'll then see the 3 remaining properties straight ahead. There's basically 2 sort of house types within the development. Plot type 1 and plot type 5 are the larger properties, and obviously 2, 3 and 4 are the same.
So let's then have a look at those floor plans. This is the type 1. Talk us through it.
So type 1 basically followed the premise of open plan living. So you'll obviously come into the ground floor. You've got a separate hallway, obviously with a downstairs WC. You've got a nice sized lounge, and obviously when you go out into the rear of the property, you've got an open plan sort of living, dining and lounge area with bifold doors to obviously connect yourself with the open plan living outside. And there's obviously a separate utility room. There's ample storage been designed within the properties to try and accommodate sort of the family sizes that are promoted for these houses. When you go upstairs to the type 1s, there's 4 good sized bedrooms with a ensuite for the master bedroom and then a good sized family bathroom for the remaining 3 bedrooms.
And then looking at plot 2, how is this one different?
These are slightly bigger plots, and you've obviously got the separate hallway lounges with the open plan kitchen and dining room. You've got the separate utility room, but obviously this plot type, so this is obviously plot 1 and plot 5 of the development, they have the benefit of having a separate study downstairs. Going upstairs, obviously you've got a larger landing, the bedrooms are slightly bigger, and obviously you've got a bigger master bedroom with a slightly bigger ensuite, and also the family bathroom, is obviously a larger size.
And then when we move on to the elevations, talk us through what you're going to be building it with.
So we're basically using a local brick, the Ibstock Leicester Weatherbreads, to obviously differentiate between the plot types. Type 1 is predominantly all brick with some nice stone sills. Plot type 2 is again using the brickwork, but you've obviously got a render finish to obviously give it a bit of a differentiation between the remaining plots.
And there's a little bit of a sort of bay window on type 2 as well, isn't there, looking at those photos?
That's correct, yeah. Just obviously try and promote the bigger open plan living area. The bay windows are all in type 2.
Who do you expect to be buying these properties from you?
Having conducted the local research, the type 1s will be sort of starter family sizes, obviously due to the local schools. Type 2 again, but these will probably be for the larger type families that are local to the area.
And have you got any idea yet as to what you're going to be marketing them for price-wise?
We've obviously gone out to the market, to the local agents. Type 1, we've had sort of retail prices between 325 and 345. Type 2 are again between 350 and 375.
Now, you've been working on other projects as well, and I've got a case study here to share with everyone. This is a property you did, Roseville House. Talk us through what you did.
Yeah, so this project was obviously for a national care provider who we do a lot of work for, both new build and refurbishment works. It was based in Wem in Shropshire, and it's obviously we was working local, so it's obviously how we found this current development deal. It was a new build block of apartments. The apartments was obviously to promote independent living for the service users within the main house. And on completion, the flats were fully occupied within 2 to 3 weeks of the scheduled completion. Project started in November 2019, and it was meant to complete in June 2020. And fortunately, we obviously completed a month early in May.
So here's an overview then of the project financials and this proposed loan. This is the first phase of a 3-phase raise. The facility in total is £850,000. This raise is for £250,000 with the interest retained and paid monthly to investors. Interest on future raises will be rolled up and paid at the exit. RICS have verified the current market value to be £240,000. The initial gross day one drawdown is £155,000. Therefore, the initial loan to value is 64.6%. RICS have verified the gross development value to be £1.66 million, and the loan based on that gross development value, excluding interest, is 51.2%, and including the rolled up interest, 55%. It's a maximum loan term of up to 15 months. The exit strategy, remember, is to sell the properties on the open market, and lenders are being paid 8% per annum interest equivalent, and it will be secured with a first charge security against the property. So your next steps then are to please make sure that you understand the loan, carry out your own due diligence on the project, and then decide how much you would like to lend. CrowdProperty.com is the place to be to pledge on launch. The necessary anti-money laundering checks will be carried out, and then you'll be invited to send your funds to your own online e-wallet, and you'll start earning interest on completion of the loan agreement. So this is phase 1 of 3, where we're looking to raise £250,000 for the building of 5 4-bedroom properties on the land south of Aldersley Way, Ruyton 11 Towns in Shropshire, SY4 1LA. Thank you for watching this CrowdProperty.com webinar. We look forward to joining us again soon for more funding opportunities back here at CrowdProperty.com in the not too distant future.